we have two aspects based on Section 5. One is the non-establishment clause. The second is the free exercise clause. So when you say freedom of religion, it means the state cannot pass a law that will promote a religion, support a religion over the other, or promote all religion. That's the first phase, or first clause. The second one is that you cannot also pass a law that will prohibit the free exercise of religion. So when you say free exercise of religion, or freedom of or the free exercise clause, we're referring to the freedom to believe and to act in accordance with one's belief. Okay, so we are already through with the first part, yung non-establishment clause. No law shall be passed, no, which will aid one religion, aid all religion, or prefers one over another. So what is our attitude towards religion? It's always benevolent neutrality. While we exercise benevolent neutrality, so meaning we respect separation of the church and the state, in the same way, the church cannot also demand compliance from the state in accordance to its standard. No? But even if there is a benevolent neutrality, because we consider that religion is a time-honored, no, long treasured right, the state accommodates to a certain extent, no, the exercise thereof. Kaya minsan may mga religious activity in government offices. Sometimes makikita mo mga grotto, mga chapel, mga, or sometimes you allow masses during special celebrations in the government, no? Tapos even in the oath-taking ceremonies, no, say mga administered oath, mga priests, etc. It's because it has been it's more of an accommodation, no? Because while we demonstrate a benevolent, not cold neutrality, no, like the judge, but benevolent neutrality, mapagbigay na neutrality, no? It's not hostility. You know, the separation should be that not be treated with hostility with one against the other, but more of an accommodation. Okay? So, take note of this. Rachel will remind me to submit, to give you these slides so that you can also get a scan of all of the coverage for the second exam after your first exam para i-register. Okay? So, wala ko nahatag, Michelle, no? And,
Nabigay na po ang Section 5, Attorney.
Okay. Pero wala pa itong until the 13th.
Not yet. Just the Section 5 PowerPoint.
Okay, good. Sige. Isa na ko ihatag to kay pasig mingon mo nga inyo maansyo sa prelim exam kay basig maabot mo right to travel, no? Maabot na mo the rights of persons under custodial investigation. Basig advance kayo mag-isip pa, no? Then you blame it to me. So, we limit the slides first to Section 5 to ensure na wala di mo makot na other provisions in your answers for prelims. Okay? We will just limit it to up to Section 4 and general principles. So take a look with the general principles, please. Review it again. No? Sometimes sa mga yung mga exams, dati portions ng exam na more of tricky, no? So careful, no? And fun of it. Trip na ko na sa exam nga ng ilad-ilad, no? Karang kung magdinanghag ka, masulod yung kasbulsa. So that's why you have to read again. Every time you answer, before you give your final answer, read the question again. No, if na kay final answer, read again. No, do not take it rashly. Anyway, di man ni kay sobrang taas ng exam. Dati kasi marag 20 questions itong ihatag or 16, 17 questions. Karon maragi mo na kung 16. I'll make it lower than the number so that kung gitanggal ng mga questions sa first exam. Okay? Sa previous na ko ang mga exam na naka-test bank. Alright, so although we have separation of church and state, nonetheless, na yung mga exceptions, no, meaning even the Constitution recognizes it, no, like exemption from taxes, payment of tax money or public funds to ecclesiastics or those religious figures rendering service in the government. No? We also allow religious instructions in public schools, basic education. No? So, Ito yung mga exceptions. Second, remember the Lemon test. Although yung Kennedy versus Berminton na case in America in 2022 which overturned Lemon test, it's the same but it's more relaxed. More relaxed na yan yung mga number 3 na requirement, yung excessive entanglement, yung mga for as long as it redounds to the benefit of the state. Pero nonetheless, we're not bound by it because it's American jurisprudence. Okay? And as far as the Philippine jurisprudence is concerned, we only apply Lemon versus Kurtzman case. So remember the areas to consider when is an aid to religion allowable, no? To what extent? First, the statute must have a secular or legislative purpose, okay, non-religious purpose. So, what are the secular purpose? Sabihin natin, the purpose is culture, heritage, tradition, good customs, tourism, no? Education. Sabihin natin na educational purpose, or arts, no? The historic arts of the Philippines. But for as long as the purpose will not relate to religion, its doctrine, its or promotion of the same, that will pass. Second requirement, even if it's a secular purpose, the primary purpose should be towards that purpose, not to promote or advance or prohibit a religion. Okay? So you cannot acquire all Catholic churches so that the Catholic faith will be abolished. Bawal yan. No? Baka the purpose is really to stop or to prevent it from existence. That cannot be done. Okay? It should the principal purpose should be secular, and it should not necessarily to advance or inhibit religion. And lastly, it must not foster excessive entanglement with the government, no? So religious with government and religion, no? So there should be not excessive entanglement. Kung mayroong mga entanglement, short term lang, maybe during the transaction, during the contracting negotiation phase, but once it's already perfected, then wala na continuing transactions with the government. Insofar as the religious interest is concerned. So take note of this test. So these are the step cases. No? We have actual cases applying the Lemon test in deciding these cases. Okay. So Lemon test, Lemon versus Kurtzman, although it's American jurisprudence, it was made its way to the Philippines by application of the principle. Okay. Next, we go now to the free exercise clause. I think this is where we left off last time. Okay. So the free exercise clause, so meaning you are already entitled to your religion, you can now practice it. Okay. You can believe all you want. No, that's your freedom to believe, which is absolute. It's absolute because no one would know what's inside your head and heart. No, it's intangible, it's not measurable, it's not concrete. Okay, so no one would know what's in your head. So it's absolute insofar as it rests upon an individual person. Wala pa tayo it's absolute, wala tayo standard, no? No one would know. Wala pa tayo technology that communicates what's inside your sight to another person. So that's why it's absolute. The freedom to believe is absolute. You believe in something evil and then you put that into a document for your own consumption, no problem. Okay, mura man na, no? But once it's distributed and it jeopardizes an interest to another person, to a third party, the state can now come in. That's the freedom to act. So Sabihin natin, you have faith, and because out of your faith, you believe that the Bible is erroneous, so you make your own version, and then you distribute it, then something in it is contrary to morals or contrary to, I think the state has the power to regulate it. Pwede niya i-confiscate, pwede niya i-censor or destroy, as the case may be. Okay? Because the freedom to act, which in accordance with your belief, can be restricted. No? So it is now subject to strict scrutiny test, meaning you prove your compelling the state interest. Yung sagid kada kung interest sa state na piniprotektahan. Saka serious na problema ang ginalikayan, or we want to avoid or to address. That's why we restrict this practice or this exercise. Or clear and present danger, if you cannot remember that term. Okay. When you say clear and present, clear, so something that is already demonstrated, something that is already understandable and perceived by the person. Present, it's not something that is anticipated. So present, nandyan na. No? So meaning, if you are worried that by doing this, people will commit suicide, that's why you will, hindi pwede. When you say present, nandiyan act, parang ganun. So that's, hindi pwede, anticipatory reaction is not considered as a present danger. So the danger must be clear because it's really evil, but if it is not present yet, so meaning posible pa dili mahitabo, dili pa sure nga ay magihadlokan ma-experience sa tao, so it will be premature to regulate it. Kailangan danger is clear and already present. Okay? That will qualify it to a compelling interest, no? It's already present. So freedom to act has two aspects. One is the state cannot force you to do something which your religion forbids, and number two, it cannot prohibit you from doing something which your religion commands. Sabihin natin yung sa Muslim faith, di ba, alam naman natin na sa kanila allowed yung 4 marriages sa men, not women. No? Kung babae na iupat ka ba, na ihawon din na. Pero kung ang lalaki na iupat ka asawa, parang allowed sa kanilang faith, sa kanilang standard, sa ilang religion. No? Even divorce is allowed in their religion, sa Sharia. So, the state cannot force you to do which religion forbids. So, kung ano yung law natin, it cannot be applied to them because they are bound by that, by their religious faith. Yes. And it cannot prohibit you from doing something which your religion commands. So, medyo ano ni siya kanang crucial kaning freedom to act. Kaya para saan ang relihiyon nga bawal ang dugo. Diba na relihiyon? Tapos ikaw, manak, bawal sa inyo ang magpa-blood transfusion. Now, on the brink of death, yan, yelo na imong naong, nawala na kay kapit na. O 1 kilo na lang ang dugo ng nabi, 1 litro na lang ang dugo ng nabi sa lawas, so kailangan kaayo ka tubilan ng dugo. Fuel ko tubil. Now, can a doctor transfuse blood to the patient to save the life of the patient and the child? The answer is no. Kasi if she does that, she'll be liable kasi violated one's religion. Ang sabihin, nabuhat na to. Pa-waiver na lang na to. Kasi that's part of decisional privacy. Buhay niya yan eh. I would have some for as long as it's intelligently made, then you cannot be prosecuted. Although it might be against the oath of ano yun sa mga doctors na oath, hipokrite, diba may sa mga oath, no, to save life, etc. Pero hindi naman siya absolute, no, in the face of religious freedom. Why? Because if you do that, no, you might feel good, but what about the patient afterwards? Feeling niya suffer na siya o moral death, no? Every day is guilt. He would feel between the person and his or her sovereign God, he becomes unworthy for the rest of his life because of the impurity that she might feel considering the transfusion of the blood. So in the end, the doctor might be held liable, except kung wala siya nagsulti, wala ang doktor, so I think ma-justify it po. Pero right from the start, if the victim says no blood transfusion is against my religion, wala akong magawa. The same is true with vaccination. Di ba na yung mga during COVID time, di ba, mandatory ang pag-vaccine, ang pag-inoculate sa COVID vaccine, no? Kata religion na bawal gid sa ilaha ang foreign substance or chemicals to enter their body. So, waiver sila. Anyway, vaccination is intended for your own benefit. No? Ayaw nila ng benefit. Ayaw nila ng own immunity or own kanang resilience towards it. Ayaw nila wala kang magawa. That's their faith. Ganun ka powerful ang freedom of religion. So, the state cannot force to do something or cannot prohibit you from doing something if it's against your religion. Okay? Problema ni Kay, when you say religion, system, na what if kanang vote lang ka, ni personal ni ikaw, isa ka tao, muna akong tunungan, wa mo na nahistro set, personal naman na, no? Yung gituan ng Ginoo isda, etc. nya sa imuhang bawal jud ka mukaon og karne, etc. nya pugso jud ka para mabuhi. Pwede, I think pwede, no? That's what it. Paglaban nimo, i-establish mo na mo tinuhuan para mo kay membro, no? Para ikaw rin pasor-pasor sa buong kay galingon basta you demonstrate that is your faith, no? Kay religion, no? Napasabot sa religion na system of faith, something already noon kay pwede mo siya gamiton og excuse, no? Katali kong dako ni mingon ka dito nga bawal yun yung magkuhan, etc. Wa man nas itulos pilya niya bugos yung mo ni bubot ka, no? Muna kong tinuuan separate sa kadaghanan. Now that will be debatable, no? I think that will be debatable something because faith, religion is personal, no? Something in you, no? So but nonetheless wala man tay case na one belonging to specific religion and then he has to nagbuhat sa sarili niyang tinuuan, no? Which is different from the general. I mean, this is my faith, no? Ayan. Sabihin natin ano ba but kasi even in sa Catholic na may klase-klase po na yung pag-uniform tanan, no? Kay may conviction man po naman po yung mga Katoliko nga naka-ayuno, napiwa uban nga bawal ang karne kada Miyerkules ba na mga anak na Katolik, mga devote na uban nga kaog mas kaunsa wa ipili, no? Hindi mo punta kung saan ang fluid ka standard, but nonetheless it's something personal, something that you have to prove in court that is really your faith, no? So it's case-to-case basis. I think that's the right term there. Okay, next is this one. These are some cases that I might ask you to read, like Ibralina case. Ito itong kaso ng katong flag, the singing of the Philippine National Anthem. And I think the petitioner here is a member of Jehovah's Witness na denomination or na sect, na religious sect. And then, diba, during flag ceremony, everyone is required to attend, diba, to stand straight and ilagay ang kamay sa dibdib sariling dibdib. Dili pwede sa ibang dibdib eh. Sexual harassment zero na. Okay? Hindi ko sa mga ginang boobs kagalingon, and then you sing loud and proud, no? The national anthem, no? Kasi ang batas natin, pag nagkamali ka ng national anthem, di ba, na penalty, di ba? So but memorize ko din mo down to all vowels and consonants. Now, as a Filipino, ngayon, this group of people during the flag ceremony, they challenge that law or that practice. Ayaw nila. Kasi to them, the singing of the national anthem and the rendering of salute, singing and rendering of salute to the Philippine flag, or paying homage to the Philippine Republic, is a form of worship. So sa kanila, there's only one supreme God to be worshipped, no other. So bawal yung mga flag, bawal yan, bawal sa kanila yung render ka ng salute to the flag. So in the end, they want to be excused from this tradition of singing or paying homage to the Philippine flag and the singing of national anthem. So sabi ng Supreme Court, in this case, it doesn't, you have to respect not the flag, not the religion of other, but you have to respect those people around you that sings the national anthem, that demonstrates patriotic behavior to, yeah. So ruling dito is, once you will not be, there is a clear and present danger if you will be excused therefrom. Nan may mga tao hindi mo kantag-appeal yan. May malawad na. So if you will be excused from this activity, from this practice, says, then it creates a clear and present danger. It might, affect people's the kanang devotion to the state. No? So, a citizen who have no love, it doesn't mean that because you don't sing the national anthem, you no longer love the country. The purpose is, you just have there to stand, no need to participate, but do not do anything else. Yun yung ruling dito, no? Do not render salute, just stand still, do not sing, as a respect to the people around. Otherwise, kasi yun yung sometimes nag-Philippine national anthem mo ba, ikaw tumuling-tumuling ka sa gilid, kasi sayo ka, wala kayo pakialam. So, that's a danger, that's a clear and present danger. No? People would be offended. Uy, may sumba sa kong gilid, nagkilag na sing sa national anthem, sa imong tapad, nagtabling-tumbling na. No? So, sabi ko, huwag naman, respect. Sabi niya, although sabi niya, it's not a religious symbol naman daw, but they don't delve on it. Now, the Philippine flag is not a religious symbol. It's more of the clear and present danger rule was applied in this case. If you are allowed to go around during the flag ceremony, what will happen to those who are, sympathetic and passionate in this Monday morning activity. So, in that case, they are not required to sing and to render salute. They are just there to stand and respect the people around them. In the same way that those who sing will also respect their silence. Okay. Next case, ito yung Victoriano versus Elizalde. Now, sa Constitution kasi, Bill of Rights, meron tayong right to associate. Meaning you can always form your group. The state cannot force you to make a group. The state cannot also compel you to make a group. No? So form of association, federation, no problem. That is guaranteed in the Constitution. The state has no business of dissolving you. Although naman sa revised penal code katong illegal associations, no? Pero you do not get punished because you get punished because of your activities that are illegal. Not because you form an organization. but the specific acts you commit. Okay? Now, if you have the right to associate or to form group, the Constitution also recognizes your right not to form a group. So, di ka mapugos. But if you look at the revised, the labor code, if you have your labor standard, labor standard ba na? Or labor relations ba na? Kanang close shop agreement. Labor code yata siya, labor 1. The labor code allows a close shop agreement. Sa labor din na, labor relations din na, mga union gani. The labor code allows the the certified bargaining unit katong napili in a petition certification katong napili nga union nga makig-bargain sa management, no? Under the labor code, they are allowed to make a stipulation in the collective bargaining agreement, the CBA. Allowed sila butang dito og close shop agreement. Yung close shop clause, ito yung stipulation in the CBA or collective bargaining agreement that only members of the union can be regularized or can be allowed to work or to stay in work, can be engaged in service, can be regular employee, gano'n. So, meaning, you can be compelled to join the union, whether you like it or not. If you want to stay in the company, you have to be a member of the union. Yan yung close-up agreement. Now, there was a decision that close-up agreement is allowed. Yung provision na yan, allowing it in the labor code is considered a valid exercise of police power because the close-up agreement is intended to protect the mutual interest of the management, the employer, and the labor sector, itong mga employees. Kasi syempre, pag may yung close-up agreement, secured ang management na katulad yung nakapasal sa standards, working standards, conditions ang mahimong empleyado. And so for us, the union pod, of course, maprotektahan po niya ang industry kung ipasal sa ilang standard ang silang membership ang mga empleyado. So, it was sustained. But, in Victoriano versus Elizalde, if your religion prohibits you from joining any organization like the union, then you are excused. So meaning, exception siya sa close shop agreement. So, ano yung standard natin? Yung general rule, you have the right to form an association or organization and not to join an organization. Exception, you can be compelled to join an organization or a union if there is a close shop agreement. Exception to the exception is, although there is a close shop agreement, you cannot still be compelled to join that union or organization if your religion prohibits you from joining any organization. But you are not prohibited from creating your own organization which your religion allows. So natin, I think Iglesia ni Cristo na siyang petitioner. No? Bawal sila mag-appeal og union. So, again, ang general rule, pwede ka mo join di or dili. Pero kung na-close up agreement, dapat mo join dito og union. Bawal man sila mag-join og other union, so excuse sila from the close up agreement dito sa collective bargaining agreement. But, they can also make a union of their own because allowed man sila to form their own union. So that's the lesson in this Victoriano versus Elizalde case. Ganun ka-supreme yung religion. No? It will excuse you from the exemption. It serves as an exception to the exception of the general rule. Okay? I want you to read the Strada versus Escritor case. Please read this. Maybe I might be asking that next time around. Although, hindi ko na-discuss kamay. I'm not sure kung tama ako ang lawang niya kung memory ani. Uh, in this case kasi, the Supreme Court defined what is benevolent neutrality, no? So, gimension po niya ang compelling state interest, although hindi pa tong term na strict scrutiny ang gigamit po. Nagamit na siya term na paramount and compelling interest. Okay. Now, in Estrada versus Escritor, the party here is I think si Escritor is a concerned citizen, kanang very concerned. Sobra kay tayo meron na sobra kay concerned. And then ang reklamo ani, I think I'm not sure kung asa, maybe correct me later, no? This Estrada here is an employee of the court. Stenographer man yata ni siya, or stenographer or of court, basta court employee ni siya. Okay, karon mura og annulled ni siya sa or divorce or annulled siya sa iyang husband. Okay, pero naa siya'y partner na separated, in fact, meaning ang uyab ni Estrada ay ni Escritor ba? Kahit tinalang kung asa taga-court na. Basta ang uyab atong taga-court is Minyo, no? Yung laki niya Minyo, pero separated, in fact. So, kay wala may iya ning isa, si Estrada, file siya og case Supreme Court. Okay? Kung ikaw empleyado sa korte, you must, be clean and white. Parang gano'n. No? Panangan walang mancha. You will erode the trust and confidence to the public. If you are in the court, you should lead a moral and decent life. So, para sa iya, charge niya og gross immorality si Escritor ani nga case kay naragi siya keks nga Minyo. Ganon. Aslom kay siya, no? Kada kay lamero kay siya, no? Tungod kay wala siya iya, reklamo siya. Kapal. So nangyari, it went all the way to the Supreme Court. Why? Because remember, in your Consti 1, di ba? The Supreme Court has jurisdiction over all the courts, the judges, and the personnel. So, Supreme Court yun ang nag-judge aning case. If you notice in this case, absorb nila si katong taga-court employee. Why? Kay si Escritor man siguro to, namagod siya sa Jehovah's Witness. Tapos, ang kanilang pagsasama, no, was sanctioned by the church. Marabag, not sanctioned, punished, but recognized by the church. No, na sila'y kasunduan. Sinumpaang kasunduan ba to? Nasa document nga pinirmahan nga acknowledge sa church that they will be in union, no, faithful with each other, okay, notwithstanding the circumstances nga the man is married to another but already separated, tapos siya naman is legally free to marry. So the court in this case said na bakit immoral when the church itself says otherwise, no? Para mo sinabi in the Muslim na community na if they have 4 wives, they are not worthy, parang gano'n. When it's allowed in the church, it should be respected. So the church, the state here must be, it should not be, the attitude towards religious matter should be one of benevolent neutrality. It must not be hostile. Hindi dapat tungkol kay tugutan sa religion, ito na lang pong hasulon, because the state should be separated from the church. No, you cannot you strictly enforce the law, no. So it should be benevolent neutrality. Mapagbigay dapat ang church, be accommodating. Okay, one of accommodation because religion is a cherished right, sabi ng Constitution in that case. So here, hindi pa uso yung strict scrutiny test. Ang ginamit lang nila is compelling interest test. The state is permitted to interfere in religious practice if it is able to show that it has an interest to protect which is paramount and compelling. In this case, di ba, girecognize man nila ang marriage is an institution, no? In that case kasi, gina-recognize man nila as ang marriage daw is a social institution, a sacred union that the state has to protect. But in the case ni Escritor versus Estrada, ang katong laki manggod, there is no more family to protect. Kaya separate naman sila. Wala naman sila so may compelling anak. Gawas kung nareklamo pa yung asawa, kaya na siya mga anak, gibiyaan. So pwede pa siguro mo come in. Pero yan ang sitwasyon nga, the family is already broken from the very beginning. There is dili na siya destructive, there is no institution to protect. So wala na compelling interest in that case. Kaya bulag naman to sa established naman nga happy na iyang wife in the arms of some other man. Tapos katulad pong si iyang partner is happy with her. No? Ang nagsakit ani katulad nagreklamo. Kaya wa siya iiyak. No? So take a look at that. I think that's how brilliant the case was decided by Supreme Court. So, ano bang protektahan man mo ng kaya nga, remember sa isa ka case katulad ni I think if you have your person sa family relation katong psychological capacity, I think it was decided last year once nga the couple was separated, in fact they abandoned their conjugal home for more than 10 years. That demonstrates psychological incapacity, no? Inability to carry out your marital obligations, which is incurable, and therefore a basis for or a ground that supports incapacity of your marital obligation, which is a ground for nullity of marriage. What is there to protect? Kulang naman 10 years na ganyan nagpakita. So something is wrong. Wala na gilid siya fit for marital relations. So ground siya for dissolution of marriage, nullity of marriage. Okay? So here, the state must articulate specific terms that the interest involved in preventing the exception, which must be compelling. For only the gravest abuses endangering paramount interests can limit the fundamental right to religious freedom. Kung gusto nyo i-limit ang religious freedom, kailangan na-adjoy compelling interest. Na-adjoy gravest abuses. Endangering paramount interests. Yan. In other words, the government must do more than assert the objectives at risk if exemption is given. It must precisely show how and to what extent those objectives will be undermined if exceptions are granted. What is there to protect? Wala naman di man masave na ang marriage, ang family atong husband. And itugutan man sa church ang ilang di ba? The state has not evince or any concrete interest in enforcing concubinage or bigamy against respondent or her partner. So may case ang gifile. Kung katupong babae nga nireklamo, kung si Estrada po ang nireklamo against katong taga-court employee for bigamy, wala po siya standing. No? Or concubinage. Kay why? Remember, these crimes are crime against chastity. These are private crimes. Only the offended spouse can file a case. No? So if you are not an offended spouse, don't bother. No? You're just wasting the time in court, the Supreme Court. Just, although nakatabang man for, forming part of the rich jurisprudence that we have. Okay? More importantly, Jehovah's Witnesses have standards and procedures which must be followed before cohabitation without marriage is given the blessing of the congregation. This includes an investigative process whereby the elders of the congregation verify the circumstances of the declarants. The declaration is not a blanket authority to cohabit without marriage, because once all legal impediments for the couple are lifted, the validity of the declaration ceases, and the congregation requires that the couple legalize their union. Yun. So meaning, kung na-dissevered na itong marriage sa lalaki, namatay na yung asawa, kinahanglan pakastan jud niya tong si eskritor. Ayun yung ano. So, it was just yung the admin case for grossly immoral conduct was dismissed for lack of merit in that case. Okay. This one. Thus, holding of religious masses during noon breaks in the basement of a hall of justice, violation of the separation of church and state. The answer is no. Again, the policy of the state is one of benevolent neutrality. It allows accommodation of religion. It must not be hostile. So accommodations are government policies that take religion specifically into account, not to promote any form of religion, but to allow individuals and groups to exercise their religion without hindrance. Okay? So the holding of a Catholic Mass at the basement of QC Hall of Justice is not a case of establishment, but merely accommodation. So kung na ay mga gruto-gruto sa mga science garden, na ay mga mass may tabo sa mga public schools and public hospitals, no, it's not establishment, but it's accommodation, no, for people to practice or exercise their faith without hindrance. And the attitude of the state towards religion is one of benevolent neutrality. So, but in this case, sabi ng Supreme Court, there is no law, ordinance, or circular issued by authorities mandating the judiciary to attend. So it was by violation. There is no law requiring them to practice faith. No, wala. Or to conduct masses. Second, when they attend masses to profess their faith, it is at their own initiative, as if their own free will and volition, without coercion. Okay? And third, no government funds are being spent. Okay? Because the lighting and air conditioning continue to be operational even if there are no religious rituals there. Fourth, the basement has neither been converted into a Roman Catholic chapel, nor has it been permanently appropriated for the exclusive use of its faithfuls. And fifth, the allowance of the masses has not prejudiced other religion. Kaya di man pugan ang others na mag-attend mo sa sarili nilang worship celebration. Okay? Now, this case, no, in Iligan City Court, no, there were two requests made. One is to hold office hours from 7:30 to 3:30 p.m., compressed hour, without lunch break or coffee breaks during the month of Ramadan. Second request is to be excused from work from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. every Friday. They call it Muslim Prayer Day during the entire calendar year. Should the request be granted, the Supreme Court categorized the two requests. Yung sa first, 7:30 to 3:30 nga compressed hour during the Ramadan period, it was allowed. No? Because the court recognizes the observance of Ramadan, no, as part of the Islamic faith, even the Friday Muslim prayer as part of that. However, while the observance of Ramadan allowing Muslim employees to hold flexible office hours from 7:30 to 3 p.m. without any break find support in the law, in PD 291 as amended, there is no basis to excuse the work from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Muslim Prayer Day. To allow Muslim employees in the judiciary to be excused from work from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. every Friday, or the Muslim Prayer Day, during the entire calendar year, would mean a diminution of the prescribed governmental working hours. For then, they would be rendering service 12 hours less than that required by the civil service rules for each month. Further, this would encourage other religious denominations to request for similar treatment. Okay. Ganun. Kapag office man po, so meaning to say, imagine kung puros Muslim ang mga kuan, so sirado ang korte. Kung alas 10, tantod alas 2 sa hapon, yan. Tuloy ang public na i-allow. So I think that was, it's not allowed in this case. Allowed tong compress hour, anyway the law allows it, no? Anyway, the number of the 8 hours per day na requirement of a work hour term is retained. Kaya what may break. But insofar as an exception from work for a Muslim prayer for the entire year, for every Friday, I think that would mean a diminution of the required number of hours in government service. Okay? So, hindi siya allowed. Ito yung Imbong versus Ochoa case. Ito yung panahon nga na kanang hindi katang masaya siya nga law na kaning reproductive health law natin, yung responsible parenthood. Ano? So in that law, government funds are appropriated for the use and distribution of contraceptives to control population. Ayan. So, hatag mga kondom, mga ID, sa kanila ang libre, nagamit ang budget nga gi-allocate para aning ang law. Now, here are people who believes that contraceptives are contrary to their faith. Okay? The law requires the consensus objector to refer the patient. Kung na ay doktor nga, again sa ana, i-refer niya sa lain nga service, the medical practitioner will be able to provide for the patient's needs. Kung dili good again so sa inyong pagtuo sa doktor nga, bawal sa iyan ang pugan nimo ang plano sa Ginoo, then i-refer na sa lain yung doktor nga could advise for contraceptions. Does the provision violate the free exercise? The answer is no. The court holds that the obligation to refer imposed by RH law violates the religious belief and conviction. Once the medical practitioner against his will refers a patient, does the obligation violate the free? Yes. Once the medical practitioner against his will refers a patient seeking information on modern health products, services, procedures and methods, his conscience is indicatively burdened as he has been compelled to perform an act against his belief. So it has been said that the act of referral is an opt-out clause. It is, however, a false compromise because it makes pro-life health providers complicit in the performance of an act that they find morally repugnant or offensive. So they cannot, in conscience, do indirectly what they cannot do directly. One may not be the principal, but is equally guilty if he abets the offensive act by indirect participation. Okay? So, hindi siya mandated ni refer sa others. Okay? So, kanang ang provision nga kung ang doctor again sa contraception nga na mga advice niya kailangan siya i-refer niya sa lain ni doktor na okay na sila was declared unconstitutional because that is a violation of the free exercise clause. Kasi even the referral to other doctors is already against po sa iyahang religious standard, no, moral standard. Okay. Although dili siya feeling niya wala siya kasala, contributor gyapon siya nga sa tao. Ay, sabihin niya. Now, Soriano versus La Guardia. In an episode of Dating Daan, Eliseo Soriano uttered the following statement: "Lehitimong anak ng demonyo, sinungaling, gago ka talaga Michael, masahol ko pa sa putang babae, o diba? Yung putang babae ang gumagana lang doon, yung ibaba. Dito kay Michael, ang gumagana ang itaas, o diba? O masahol ka pa sa putang babae niya." Sabi ng lola ko, masahol pa sa putang babae yan. Sobra kasi nila ng mga demonyong ito. Yan. Can this be restricted? Yes, applying clear and present danger. Can you imagine may mga bata na naminaw? Siguro pag review ani sa DRCB, pros na ni, liti mong anak ng, toot, toot ka talaga, Michael. Masahol ka pa sa toot. O, di ba? Yung toot, babae ang gumagana lang doon, yung baba. Kaya Michael ang gumagana itaas, o di ba? O, masahol pa sa toot, yan. Sabi nila ko, masahol pa sa toot, yan. Sobra pa singungan ang toot na ito. O, yun ang, okay, masabtan. Palunga lang. No, pero the state has an interest to filter this because, you know, it shocks the moral sense, di ba? So, although she cannot claim that this is an exercise of religion. No, it's part of my conviction. I have the right to criticize, etc. Against sa aming faith. Well, it's now subject to restrictions sa state. You know, apply that clear, pleasant, and danger rule. You can now apply that state compelling state interest or the strict scrutiny test in this case. Okay. We go now to religious dispute. So we can finish section 5. Okay. Religious disputes can be inter-religion, meaning one religion against another. Yung uso man na sa una sa mga plaza nga magsigdebate-debate, no? Magkinaratihay madugay. One religion, isa ka Biblia. Tapos magsinubagay pag di na magkasinabot. My God! No? Isa naman ta ka Biblia nga mag-away, pamanggid. Ang ending, magkinabasay, magkinasukay. And they are fighting over one document, one book. No? So, that's interreligious dispute. No? We also have intra-religious, meaning within the church na issue. So, between religious groups, mag-away-away mga grupo, the attitude is neutral. Okay? So, neutral lang dapat. Dili makialam. Neutral lang ato ang state. Except, musunod na itong clear and present danger. Pwede na niya i-censor. But among the members of the same group, so, membro, i-excommunicate, kaya naa siya statement nga against sa doktrina, you have to distinguish if it is an ecclesiastical matter, then the state has no business. So meaning to say, alam mo, gitanggal ka sa imong membership sa imong relihiyon kay nisimba ka sa laing simbahan. Suko ang iyong pastor, kung nisimba ka dito ng Bible, yung tithe sa ilahang, dapat dili ka mo mag-offering. Kasi ako ganun. So, tanggal. Can you go to court? Your Honor, order the pastor i-register kung usab sa anong GC, itanggal ko niya. Can you do that? I don't think so. Why? Because that is a ecclesiastical matter. No? So, basihan sa Supreme Court. No? Biblia in its decision. No? So, an ecclesiastical matter or religious affair is one that concerns doctrine, creed, or form of worship of the church, or the adoption of the enforcement of regulation within the religious organization for the government, the membership, and the power of excluding from such association those deemed unworthy of membership. So if it's about membership, standard sa church, practice, creed, belief, doctrine, form of worship, activity sa church, state has no business in interfering. Nga pastor, magsimba tag alas 6 sa kadlawon, ito ka yung mata. Ito ka file kag case sa court for a specific performance. Gusto niyo, Your Honor, I want it 9 o'clock. Yung mata ko alas 8. Alas makasimba pa ko. My God! What can to your head? No? Do you know why hindi pwede makialam ang courts so on ecclesiastical matter? The reason is walay standard. So may basihan sa court. May balaod nga magamit makot. No? So, mahirap siya i-decide. So, the state will leave it as is. But if it's not ecclesiastical matter, like in this case, Austria versus NLRC, pastor, nag-football, pastor of the Seventh-day Adventist, after serving the church for 28 years in various capacities, he was dismissed for alleged misappropriation of the denominational funds. So, nag-file siya case sa NLRC, kay kinismis man siya. So, is that ecclesiastical matter or labor matter? So, the Supreme Court here, it said, the case does not concern a ecclesiastical or purely religious affair. Because when you say ecclesiastical affair, it's one that concerns doctrine, form of worship of the church, or adoption or enforcement within religious association or regulations for the government and membership, and the power of excluding from such association those deemed unworthy of membership. Dili man membership ang gitanggal sa iya ha, kundi iya mang employment. So, this one is an intra-religious dispute but not ecclesiastical matter. So, the state has an interest to intervene. So, kaya, in this case, Austria was not expelled from membership of the church but was terminated from employment. So, it's more of dismissal from service. So, if illegal ang dismissal, NLRC has jurisdiction. Pero kung gitanggal siya tungod kining kaon siya ginuguan, nagbawal silang tinuguan, wala tayo mahimo. Because that is ecclesiastical matter. In this case, Amari versus Villaflor, missionary, he was removed from the missionary of Abico Baptist Church. So, removal na sa iyang membership, kay missionary. His recommendation as a national missionary was cancelled and he was excluded from membership in the church. So, from itself, membership na ang iyang na employment. As a consequence of his exclusion, his appointment as instructor of the missionary was also terminated and his salary was cut off, claiming that he was dismissed from his employment without the benefit of due process and valid cause. Nag-file siya case sa NLRC. Na by jurisdiction, in this case, no. Kaya because it was primarily, the issue was exclusion from membership of the church. Kaya kung dili mo ka member, di mo ka makatudlo. So, alam na mag-maintain ka, di ka membro. So, in the end, the primary issue is the exclusion of a member, which is within the scope of ecclesiastical matter, which alam i-compel ni mo ang simbahan nga ipamembro hagi siya kay pwede siya matanggal sa iyang pagkamaestro. So, that cannot be done. So, in the end, this is an ecclesiastical matter. Okay? Siguro kung wala siya gitanggal as member sa church, i-terminate ang iyang service, pwede siya, purely employment lang. But here kasi, gitanggal siya sa pagka-instructor, kaya dili na siya membro, kaya gi-exclude man siya pagka-membro. So the primary issue is his membership. So, which his employment is contingent. So since the membership is a primordial matter, contingent man siya dito sa employment, and this membership is ecclesiastical matter, wala jurisdiction ng NLRC to pass on this. Courts will refrain from judging matters of faith, doctrine, form of worship, church law, rule, or custom. The reason? No standards to apply. Wala may kay legal basis or constitutional basis in deciding kung kinsay tama sa ilang gituhuan, kinsay tama nga sa ilang position in the church. Ang ending, si judge na po ang mga membro ang magdebate, okay, nila is standard. We go now to religious test. Purpose of the prohibition, religious test ka na ba before ka mo enter into public office, diba? Mga dapat wala religious test. Now, sometimes na oath of officers before you enter. Pero kung you don't have a religion, pwede naman gyapon ka di ka mag-oath, but meron kang affirmation, which is required with the Constitution. Okay? And then, please read these cases. That ends. Picture na today, Mary? Oh, sige, on
Naka-picture
ka
na
muna.
po. Pwede din tayo mag-picture ulit.
Pero nakasend na. It's okay, diba? Ay, kadaghan na kay. More mo nga. Okay? Nakasend naman, no? It will not improve our facial expression in the first place. So, it's okay. So, anyway, time check, it's 8:52. So, we call it an evening. God bless everyone. See you again tomorrow. Unless you have questions, hearing none. Bye. Toodles.